What is going on, everybody? It is the Tenacity podcast. I am your host, Gavin, with my partner in crime, Josh. Josh, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fantastic, sir. And man, oh man, how many times have I looked out the window today? I have lost count, but I do know this from the first time to the billionth time. I know, and I said this each time, and I'm surprised I haven't lost my voice. It's a beautiful day to talk about all things rock.
That's right, and that's just what we're here to do today on the Tenacity podcast, talking about all things rock. Guys, a couple episodes ago, we talked about we had a specific subject we were talking about. We were interviewing different fans of different bands. And of course, we're part of the band Tenacity, me and Josh. So we've talked about the Beatles, Bon Jovi. A couple episodes ago, we had our lead guitarist Levi on, and he talked about his favorite band, Metallica. Well, today, guys, we're going to be talking about our bassist favorite band, and this is the band called Weezer. And who better to tell us all things Weezer than our bassist himself, a fan of the band for a long time, Braden. Braden, we actually have him on the episode today with us. Braden, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today, sir?
I think it is. I'm doing great. I think this is the first thing they've actually heard me say besides "I'm Braden." So this is going to be monumental.
Stepping stone. I concur with that.
I would have to agree. So, guys, if you've followed our social media for a while, when we first introduced Braden to the group, we'll actually probably have the video play real quick for you guys. But it was just a moment of like, hey, I'm excited, but there's a lot going on here, so I don't have a lot of words to say. But we're here today, and you get to have a whole lot more words from Braden as we talk about Weezer. So, Braden, so for the first question I want to ask you on this episode, tell us a little about, like, what exactly is the band Weezer?
Like, so you're saying what makes up the foundation?
Yeah, let's talk about, what is it? Like, is it like hard rock? Is it just like new rock? Like, what kind of band is it? And, like, let's talk about the members of the band that make up Weezer.
Well, I believe that throughout the entire run of Weezer, you can go to two different albums. They'll have two completely different sounds for Weezer. Blue Album doesn't sound like Pinkerton. Pinkerton doesn't sound like the Red Album. Red Album definitely doesn't sound like the Green Album. You can go to their newest albums, which came out in like 2022, the Seasons albums. All of them sound different. All of them have completely different tones. Rivers does great with the vocals. He changes his voice throughout the entire thing. Falsetto, he's the master of falsetto personally. He does great with all those things. Like, you can go to the Teal album, which is their cover album. It sounds completely different than the original songs. And I think they just do a great with that's really one of the oh my gosh, I'm having a stroke here.
Take your time.
I gotta slow down here.
Take your time. It's only going to get harder from here. Josh is a master of asking difficult questions when it comes to bands. But take your time. You're good, man.
The foundations of Weezer is very tough to say because they've had a long history, though. Because even when they started the band Weezer, they had their first gig 4 weeks after. For what is it? Keanu Reeves' band, Dogstar. Yeah, their first gig was
No Pressure there.
Yeah. For Keanu Reeves' band, and I don't know how they got there that quick for 4 weeks. It's crazy.
I would say if you've got the talent, you're gonna make it regardless. Oh, yes. That's incredible. I honestly, so there's a lot of things like what I love about having these interviews with people who are fans of the band, because they're gonna know more about these rock bands than probably me or myself or Josh might know. And that was one thing I didn't know about them. That's actually really cool. I always love seeing like the different things that made the band, like where they got their start. That is so cool, especially playing for a band that's got a man like Keanu Reeves in it. Josh, what's your question? Another question for our Weezer fan.
Well, off to a really good start. I have speaking of challenging questions, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the cat out of the bag here. So this is a question I asked Gavin and I asked Levi, so I'm gonna ask you. So if there was a documentary to be made about Braden Bear or about Tenacity or just whatever, and they say, Braden, you can pick one song from Weezer, what song would that be?
Dang. So it's like if I could
only one song.
So only one song. So this is my favorite song, or are we saying a song that the only song I could ever listen to for the rest of my life? Let's clarify that.
Well, just like they're just like, hey, pick a Weezer song, and you got to pick one song.
Oh well, off the top of my head, it's instantly "Pink Triangle" from Pinkerton. I love that song.
Nice.
It is very deep though. It is very deep when you learn about the meaning of that song, because the entire song is about Rivers asking out a lesbian who he didn't know was a lesbian.
Whoa.
And yeah, that's the entire song. But I think it was really good. The first time I actually heard that song was when I went to their live concert in Choctaw. And I thought it was really good. I'm like, huh, I've never heard this song before. It's really good. And then I heard the meaning of it. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Well, that's a great song choice, and everybody needs a hero. But sometimes we're not everybody else. We walk alone. And but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to pull the difficult question out the bag, because I remember Levi kind of gave me a look for asking that question about Metallica. He was like,
what was his answer? I don't remember.
Oh, he had to come back, and I don't.
You can find out about the answer on our interview with a Metallica family member episode that is actually came out a couple weeks back. And so you'll be able to find that answer on that episode. So you'll actually be able to find it on our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, or wherever you are watching this episode of the Tenacity podcast, be able to find that answer out. But I would have to actually go back to my notes to remember what that answer was. That's why we record these things. We don't. This interview is going a little bit off the rails a little bit more than our last one. Something to guys want to clarify with our bassist, like we like to have fun, and our bassist is a guy who loves to have fun, loves to cut back. That's one of the cool things about him. Now, okay, Braden, so here's another question for me. This one might be able to be, what is, now this isn't a hey, this is just, I'm curious, what is the worst Weezer album that they've released?
Worst Weezer album? I don't think I've heard all the Weezer albums. I say I'm a fan. I know. I listen to a lot of Weezer. But I think out of all of them I've heard, for sure, I think it's Red Album. I'm not particularly the fan of the Red Album. A lot of people, they got Pork and Beans on there, one of their most classic songs, but it's not one of my personal favorite albums.
Okay. Josh,
and just to clarify to the viewers, if your favorite color is red, he's not criticizing your favorite color. It just happens to be the name of the album that he says is the worst.
Actually, that's not the name of the album. The name of the album is Weezer, actually.
Oh, but it's just red?
Yeah.
Okay. So no offense to anybody that likes that album or that likes the color, and I don't know why I'm saying all this. Okay. So anyway, so the next question I have is, you actually got to see Weezer live in your first concert. What was that experience like?
It was amazing. I was there 2 hours early. My mom was like, hey, you want to leave? And I was like, wow, this is really early. And we got there quite a bit early. It was a very good experience. It was a casino, first casino I've ever been into, being at 16 years old. You don't really get to witness a lot of gambling in real life. Saw that changed my life. But
Nice.
Yeah, went into Weezer. I bought a Red Bull. It was $7 for a small can of Red Bull.
You need wings. That's not an endorsement, viewers, but you need wings for when you see Weezer.
Hashtag not sponsored. But yeah, went in. It was very cold. I was in a Dunder Mifflin hoodie and I was shivering. I've got a lot of pictures still on my phone
Nice.
from that. It was a really nice memory. It was a Christmas present. My mom was like, hey, let's go see Weezer. I was super excited. So
Nice.
It was just a great experience overall.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay.
Awesome sauce.
Here's another good question for you. So when and this is something we actually asked Levi pretty early on in the interview, because we were really curious. We're actually really curious. Like, whenever everybody has a reason why they have their favorite band. There's a time and place where you sat down and this is just the band that stuck out. I remember Levi's was like, he was learning guitar and he was introduced to Metallica. And he was like, this is the kind of music that I want to be able to play. Bon Jovi was just like, it's always had a part in my life, every song. The Beatles was one of Josh's childhood bands, like one of the first he actually got introduced to. So what is it and when can you remember the time when you heard Weezer and you were like, this is my favorite band? Like when the time and place, can you remember that or give us a little bit of background on why Weezer's become your favorite band?
I do not think I could tell you the first time I heard Weezer for sure, because they're a famous band for sure. Like I'll just be driving down the road and you'll just hear one of their songs on the radio, and it's like that's what's normal right now. And it's like, hey, I like Weezer. There's definitely no denying that because we're on the Weezer episode of the podcast. But I think one of the first songs I ever did hear was Island in the Sun, which is an absolute classic. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say they don't like that song. It's a great song. The Green Album, one of my personal favorites. But yeah, my mom actually has a lot of influence on my music taste because I grew up watching 80s movies and 90s movies with her. We'd listen to a lot of different 80s, 90s, and the early thousands, and she's just got a lot of influence. Like I went on my driver's ed course, and the guy teaching me had an entire playlist of old music that I would just be belting out, and he's like, "You're too young to know these songs." I was singing "Turn the Page" by Bob Seger, and he's like, "You should not know the words to these songs. You are way too young." But yeah, I think that's where I get a lot of my music taste from, and definitely Weezer for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I think I can speak for a majority of our band members. Actually, I think I can speak for all of us, is that our favorite bands and the music that we've enjoyed and the stuff that we play, a lot of it comes from influence from a parent or just a close family member, honestly. I think Josh's was a lot of his siblings were introducing him to stuff. His dad grew up, of course, with a lot of the rock bands that we enjoy today. He got to see a lot of them. I think he's even mentioned, and we would love to have him actually on the podcast at some point, because he actually got to live through even some of the Beatles hits.
Yeah, that was his favorite band, and he showed them to me. And then he also got to see, well, he'll discuss this sometime on the podcast. He actually got to see Elvis Presley live.
Yeah, so he actually got to be there for some of the stuff. But getting back on subject, we're talking about Weezer, but like, I love it. And guys, we'd love to hear on the chat, in the comments, where did you get your favorite band from? Was it a friend, a family member? Was it someone close to you that said, hey, you need to listen to this band, and just you were hooked on it? Or was it I know some people have gotten their favorite band from the radio. A lot of times, like early on, before we had Spotify, we had access to CDs, and like how easy it is to get a hold of a recording. Where did you hear your favorite song and learn that this was going to be your favorite band? But enough about that. Josh, what's your next question?
The Island in the Sun song makes me want to go on an island when the sun's out, but it's a good song. It's a great song. But anyway, so the question I have is, so Weezer, so what is it, do you think, that separates Weezer from other bands, in your opinion? Because in your opinion, Weezer's obviously your favorite band, but what separates Weezer from other bands? Like what is it unique about Weezer?
First of all, I've got a few answers for this. Weezer's fan association is crazy. If you guys don't know, the music video Hero came out during the global pandemic in 2020, and they had every fan that signed up, they had them all in the music video. Wow. If you haven't seen it, I recommend going to watch it. It'd just be transition after transition of fans dancing around to this song, and it's amazing. The fan association with that is incredible. Second of all, I also talked about it earlier, the tone is different than I really think any other band out there. You can compare one song from Weezer to a song from Metallica, to Kiss, to Alice Cooper, to Three Doors Down even. There is not going to be a single band, maybe even couple bands. There's not going to be a single band that sounds exactly like Weezer. Like, you can put it against any band in the world, and I think Weezer will still stand out incredibly.
Yeah, great answer. And the lead singer might look just like Buddy Holly, but he's not. He's the lead singer of Weezer.
He is Rivers Cuomo, indeed.
Nice. Indeed. All right, here's my next question for you, Braden. So let's say you're in a position where you want to recommend Weezer to somebody, like, hey, you got to try this band out. What are or what is the first song you would recommend? Hey, if I want to let me introduce you to Weezer, what song are you introducing us to in order to get us into Weezer?
Okay, well, I'm really angry that you didn't stick with the what are, because that would have made it so much easier to have multiple songs that I could
I'll
pick.
give you a multiple song question soon.
Okay.
But I'm curious, what's the song you're leading with? What are you leading with?
Well, so probably since it's such a classic, Say It Ain't So.
Hmm.
It's a great song, catchy. Say It Ain't So. Oh, I just got that, Josh. No, but it's a classic. It's actually about his stepfather. He wrote that song after he looked in his fridge and saw that there was a bottle of beer, and he knew that his parents were actually going to get a divorce because he knew his dad started drinking again.
Oh man,
yeah. That it's a deep song. Like Weezer has some deep meanings in their songs,
and they sound so upbeat with a lot of their tunes too. Like I haven't myself. I've only heard probably about 2 or 3 songs from Weezer, but they always come up with this very like catchy tune that's very usually upbeat, and you don't ever realize like how deep their songs actually go.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. Like that. Interesting. I really thought you were gonna go with Buddy Holly, but I was like, that's probably like one of their more.
I'll get this hot take out. Personally, I think Buddy Holly is one of their worst songs.
Really?
Yes. It may have been one of their most famous songs, but I definitely think it's one of their worst songs. It's very overrated.
What's with these homies dissing my girl?
I don't know why they got to run.
Hey, but you know the lead singer, you know where he comes from, it and all that. Great, and his automobile was a piece of crap.
That's true. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, and he dreamed of going to Beverly Hills one day. Anyway,
he lived on an island in the sun.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. What's another question you got? We're coming kind of down to the end of the podcast episode. So, what's another question you got for our Weezer fan?
So, if there could be a movie about Weezer, which there very well could be in the future, there better be. If there's not a movie about Weezer, then we're not gonna watch movies anymore. But I had nothing. But anyway, okay, serious time. So if there could make a movie about Weezer, this is a 2-part question.
Oh no!
Is there any actor you think would be worthy of playing, I guess, the lead singer, and also if they would more than likely name the movie or the biopic after one of their songs? What do you think the best song title would be for that film?
Dang, I was really hoping you'd just give me the open, like I could name it, because I really wanted to name it It's Weezen Time.
Oh,
I think that would have been a great title. But back to your first part. I think there is an actor that could play him? I definitely think there is, but I don't know actors' names. I'm very face blind with that stuff.
What if they hey, we might be able to, maybe we can name him, or maybe the chat can actually name him. And let us know after the episode airs. What is what movie have they played in? Have they played in something recently that you would know, or like what character they've played as?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking the fans that question.
I'm asking you because if I don't know it, I'd love to hear if the fans might know what it is.
I need you to repeat that question.
I was saying, like, in answer to Josh's question about is there an actor that could play River, and I know you're struggling with trying to have a actor's name. Have they been in a film recently? Because we might be able to name him on the podcast. If not, then maybe our audience might be able to tell us who it is.
I've got to, first of all, you've got to think of someone that generally looks like Rivers Cuomo, and he's got a very unique style of clothing. He looks, I'm not going to, no, that, what I was about to say may have sounded very rude. He's got a unique look. He definitely dresses differently than a lot of people. I like to call it middle-aged mancore, where he wears a sweater vest, sweaters, khakis, which, hey, he looks good in it. It's fine. I'm sorry. Like, each his own, I guess. But I don't know of any specific actor that I could think of that could play Rivers Cuomo. Because first of all, as I said, you've got to find a look. You've got to find, I'm sure in all the biopics, they have to have some talent. So I don't know of anyone that could play sort of like Rivers Cuomo and look like Rivers Cuomo. It's very tough because I think I'm definitely not, I don't work in casting in movies. So
well, there's so many great actors like that could play, like there's Eddie Murphy, there's
Michael Jackson.
I mean, Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
Okay,
Ice-T.
okay. So it may be an actor that we has yet to be discovered for that. But now getting back to his second, Josh's second question, what song is going to be the title of their movie?
Title of their movie. There's a few I really want, but I think the best one would be In the Garage. In the Garage was one of their hits on the Blue album.
Nice.
It was really about them practicing in their garage. That's about what that
really.
It was about one of their first gigs that they practice at all the time.
Nice.
It was in a random garage.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I think that actually would be a cool title for something.
That's where it all starts.
It was either that or Surf Wax America, but I didn't think Surf Wax America would fit as much in the garage.
I think that's actually pretty cool. Okay, last question, Braden, for the podcast. Okay, how would you rank what you think is the top 5 Weezer songs of all time?
Okay, that's a great question.
Top 5.
Now I've got to reach into. Do I have to rank them like in order?
You don't have to rank them in order. Just list them. What top
5?
Top 5. What are your top 5?
So
they would rank Weezer.
My top 5 would definitely be a very underrated song. It's from one of their very underrated albums. It's called The Wastelands. It's from their album Everywhere. I can't remember the name of the album, but it is a very underrated album. It is it's an instrumental. There's no words. And Weezer song is very crazy. But it used to be my ringtone for a long time, actually. But The Wastelands is really good. Then Pink Triangle, of course, is probably in there. I've got 3 left. All right. Photograph is really good. Oh Girlfriend as well. I like that one. And then one more. I gotta have something. It's in between The World Has Turned and Left Me Here. Or what's the other one? It's in between that one and I Just Threw Out the Love of My Dreams. I think I'd pick I Just Threw Out the Love of My Dreams because that one's really good. I think Rivers Cuomo sings in that last 20 seconds of that song and that's it.
Oh my.
Like it's a Weezer song, but he sings in the last 20 seconds.
Nice.
Interesting.
Well, we want to say thank you, Braden, for joining us today on the episode. We really appreciate your time and sharing us your take as a Weezer fan and giving us some of your information. Guys, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are some of your favorite things about Weezer? If you're a Weezer fan too, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. Like and share. And if you've enjoyed it, let somebody else know about the podcast. And guys, if you've enjoyed the music that's been playing in the background, that's actually part of the Tenacity music. Links for that will be available in the comments. You can also find it on whatever social platform you are watching. It's available there as well. And until next time, guys, keep on rocking it in a free world, and we'll see you next time.
And we hope you liked this episode. But if you didn't,